Hey everyone, welcome to today's Explainer. Look, what we have for you today is basically your essential, highly actionable flight plan for navigating the brand new Noida International Airport. It literally just opened to commercial traffic on June 15th and 16th, 2026. So, if you've been wondering exactly how this massive new piece of infrastructure is going to impact your own travel plans, you are in exactly the right place.
Okay, let's dive into this. Are you genuinely prepared to tackle Delhi NCR's brand new aviation hub? I mean, we've all seen the flashy headlines, right? The multi-billion rupee investments, the foundation stones being laid. But today, we're stripping away all that hype. We are focusing purely on what you, the passenger, actually need to know to fly out of Juar this very week.
So here is our structured flight plan for the Explainer. First, welcome to DXN. Second, your domestic flight options. Third, getting to the airport. Fourth, inside the terminal. And finally, number 5 is DXN right for you.
Section 1. Welcome to DXN. Let's get the baseline facts straight on this massive new facility.
First things first, you're definitely going to want to memorize these 3 letters, DXN. That is the official IATA code you'll be typing into your flight booking apps from now on. The D clearly denotes Delhi, representing the wider national capital region. The N stands for Noida, its immediate home. And that X, well, that boldly represents the global connectivity this airport is ultimately aiming for.
You know, the journey to get to this week, it's really been a marathon. After being formally inaugurated by Prime Minister Narendra Modi back in March of 2026, the airport went through some pretty rigorous operational trials. And all of that culminated on June 15th, when the very first commercial Indigo flight touched down from Lucknow. Amazingly, it was carrying 170 local farmers whose land actually helped build the airport. Today, June 16th, Akasa Air joins the fray. Looking ahead, we're going to see a rolling route expansion in July, and if all goes to plan, international flights taking to the skies by September 2026.
And honestly, the scale of this launch is just incredible. Phase 1 opens with a single runway, single terminal setup that has an immediate annual passenger capacity of 12 million people. To put that into perspective, while it's just the beginning of a 4-phase master plan meant to eventually handle 70 million passengers, 12 million is already a massive, game-changing injection of capacity into the super-crowded northern India aviation market.
Moving right along to Section 2, your domestic flight options. Where can you actually fly to today?
Now, what's really interesting here is how Indigo, which is India's largest carrier, has strategically chosen its starting lineup. They launched operations on June 15th with direct connections to major business hubs like Bengaluru and Hyderabad, right alongside key regional transit points like Lucknow, Amritsar, and Jammu. They are very clearly targeting a mix of corporate IT travelers and regional flyers from western Uttar Pradesh, people who previously had to slog all the way across Delhi just to get to IGI Airport.
And then, of course, there's Akasa Air, launching its operations today, June 16th. They're focusing right in on dense, high-demand business corridors with daily non-stop flights connecting Noida directly to Bengaluru and Navi Mumbai. For a younger, fast-growing airline like Akasa, DXN is an absolute goldmine. It gives them the precious slot availability to actually base aircraft and grow their network without fighting all the massive congestion constraints over at Delhi's main airport.
But hey, it's vital we manage our expectations for a second. Airlines are actually starting out rather cautiously. We're currently in a weak season for travel demand, right? Because of this, Indigo is actively structuring some of its routes, like Hyderabad to Amritsar, as one-stop transit flights that route through Noida just to aggregate enough passengers. On top of that, while Air India Express originally committed to Phase 1, they've actually deferred their immediate launch due to internal restructuring. So the initial network is solid, for sure, but it is deliberately measured.
All right, Section 3. Getting to the airport. Let's talk real-world logistics and access.
Now, there is a massive difference between the future vision and our current reality. While the future promises this incredible Noida Aqualine Metro extension, the high-speed Namo Bharat RRTS, and, get this, even pod taxis connecting to Film City, at launch, DXN is entirely road-based. You are strictly relying on the Yamuna Expressway, app-based cabs like Uber and Rapido, and regional state roadways buses. So the crucial point is exactly how you plan your journey and your budget. If you're coming from Noida, you'll be taking the Yamuna Expressway via Peri Chowk. I'd budget about 45 to 70 minutes of drive time under normal conditions.
If you're calling an Uber or Ola, expect fares to range anywhere from 1,200 rupees from Greater Noida up to about 2,800 rupees if you're coming from the Sector 18 area. Oh, and if you prefer to drive yourself, here's a pretty great perk. Early reports show on-site parking is incredibly affordable at around 50 rupees for 4 hours. That is significantly cheaper than parking at IGI.
Section 4. Inside the terminal. Let's walk through the actual passenger experience. Imagine you've just arrived. The airport operator, run by a subsidiary of Zurich Airport, has brought in some incredible global tech to make this totally seamless. Step 1, your digital check-in and terminal flow are managed by Amadeus, a global leader in travel tech. Step 2, once you drop those bags, they hit the Siemens Vario Tray high-speed baggage system. It's specifically designed for rapid processing and quick turnarounds. Step 3, as you move airside, you'll find duty-free and retail managed by Heinemann, plus premium multi-cuisine lounges operated by TFS. Honestly, it's a highly modern, tech-driven, carbon net zero facility.
But, all that brand new infrastructure definitely comes with some underlying economics. Let's talk about the Domestic User Development Fee, or UDF. At DXN, it's currently set at 490 rupees per departing passenger. Compare that to Delhi's IGI airport, which has a UDF of around 129 rupees. That's a pretty noticeable tariff disparity, right? However, to keep airfares competitive and actually attract you to the new airport during this launch phase, airlines are strategically absorbing a lot of these higher regulatory fees themselves. They're basically taking a short-term hit to build long-term passenger volume.
Which brings us to Section 5. Is DXN right for you? Let's do a final assessment.
And this brilliantly illustrates who should actually be booking flights out of Juar today. It is literally a game changer if you live in Greater Noida or along the expressway. You get a fast, 40-minute drive that bypasses Delhi traffic entirely. It's also fantastic for corporate IT professionals flying the heavy routes to Bengaluru or Hyderabad. But you should absolutely hold off if you rely strictly on the metro to get to the airport. That infrastructure just isn't there quite yet. And obviously, you'll need to wait if you're flying internationally, at least until the winter schedule kicks in around September.
The local publication Noida Diary really hit the nail on the head when they wrote, Jewar is not just infrastructure, it is Noida's entry into a different tier of Indian cities. This whole thing isn't just about catching a flight. With planned film cities, dedicated cargo hubs for Agra footwear and Moradabad brassware, and massive electronic manufacturing parks, this airport is acting as a massive economic catalyst designed to transform the entirety of Western Uttar Pradesh into a global logistics hub. So armed with your structured flight plan, a feel for the terminal layout, the real-world transit situation, and the exact routes available to you right this second, I've got to ask, will you book your next flight out of Juar? Take a moment, evaluate your own travel profile, weigh the logistics, and decide if DXN is going to be your new gateway to the skies. Keep learning, keep exploring, and we'll catch you in the next explainer.